Good day, you're welcome to SaharaTV. My name is Kwesi Baako. Just a few months ago, the word Ebola struck so much terror into people that they would rather not have nothing to do with it, anything to do with it, I should say. Ghana stepped up as one of the African countries who were ready to spearhead finding a solution for this rather bizarre problem. However, in Ghana just a few weeks ago, news broke that some clinical trials were going to be conducted with students of a certain midwifery school, and it did not sit well with a lot of Ghanaians, including a section of the ruling government. I'm talking about the National Democratic Congress. We're reaching now into Ghana to speak with Mustapha Gbande, who is the Deputy Regional Secretary for the National Democratic Congress Volta region, where these trials were supposed to be carried out, and also Richard Mensah, news editor at City FM, one of Ghana's leading broadcasters. You're welcome to SaharaTV, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Richard. How did the news reach your desk?
Well, this is how it reached us. We had some informants from the vicinity of Hohoe, and also some people within the main NDC in the Volta region telling us that this is what they've heard. For the students, they confirmed it that they have been promised some 200 Ghana cedis and a mobile phone. Ostensibly, the mobile phone was supposed to be used for so that after you avail yourself for the vaccine, you will be in communication with the company or those who are in charge, the frontline people who were in charge. So we set out ourselves to find out whether it was the case or that it was just a hoax. It ended up that it was not a hoax, but it was the case. But initially, it was difficult getting any information from the Ministry of Health, and they were playing. They were dilly-dallying with the information, so we set out to go on the ground. So what we did was to send out our correspondent who normally does work for us there to go on the ground and check whether that was the case. The students did confirm, but we needed an official confirmation because this issue is far much more bigger than what we ought to deal with as a nation. It didn't take much time then. The Volta Regional NDC came out with a statement saying that they were not going to allow such a thing to take place within their region, and they stated their reasons why it should be so. And one chief amongst them was the fact that they think that Ebola is a deadly disease. The vaccine which was going to be tested, well, for them, Ghana had not experienced any such occurrence. So even if there's going to be any testing, they were thinking that it should, the best place to do it would be those who were affected. Now the story starts evolving. So now the people are out there, the NDC is out there. We've also had voices from the students. So the ministry was forced to come out. So about 3 days ago or so, on the night, we came into the office in the morning, and it was part of our headlines that this is what was going to happen, that actually the FDA, that is the Food and Drugs Authority here in Ghana, had licensed a company to start with the trials in Ghana. And so by late morning, which was around 9 o'clock, 10 a.m., we reached out to the Ministry of Health, because now we have confirmation from the FDA, because we spoke to one of their chief spokespersons. So then the Ministry of Health, through its PR, who is the public relations officer, then told us that by a fiat from the minister, that has been suspended, that the trials was not going to take place. And his reasons were that he thinks that enough education had not been done, and for that matter, they needed to wait until enough indications to the people are done in that manner. But then it's like a snowball. It just started evolving. Within the day, Parliament was sitting, and the parliamentarians took it upon themselves to debate it when the Volta caucus, that is the MPs who come from the Volta region, led by its raised the issue on the floor of Parliament. In fact, they actually read a statement calling for the exercise to be suspended. Then the House, that is the MPs as a House, decided that was no, it was a heated debate in Parliament, and all the MPs were in unison when it comes to that. So they had to address themselves to it. So it moves from the Health Ministry into the Parliament, and Parliament had to speak to it. By 12 o'clock in the day, the NDC officially in the constituency involved, and also in the region, had also come out strongly. That is aside the interview they conducted with us early. So they were also saying this is their position. For them, they don't even want it there. But on the part of government, from what we understand from the PRO, or that is Tony Goodman, they have suspended the exercise. They have suspended the, yes.
Thank you.
It's just about suspension.
Thank you. So let's hear it from the horse's own mouth. Mustapha, you are at the pinnacle of the group that kicked strongly against this. And it's rather surprising to a lot of people, because you would have thought that this would come from the opposition. Your party is in government, and if we are to ask anybody, we're going to ask the health minister, who I believe also comes from the region. Tell us about how the story developed with you.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you very much for granting us the opportunity. First of all, I must put it on record that the Volta Regional Secretariat of the NDC is not against any institution in the country conducting any exercise that will better the research know-how of the country. Indeed, in such scenarios or processes, we need education, we need a campaign to get the people alert on whatever is going to be done. This issue about Ebola came up 3 weeks ago, and a particular radio station called Star FM broke it out that Food and Drugs Board, in collaboration with some individuals, were going to do this and chose the venue in Volta region. Now, the calls started coming from the ground. This ignorant public who don't know exactly what Ebola, what this trial is about, but know very well how fearful Ebola is, what it has done in Africa, what the effects of Ebola have been on Africa, started asking questions. Here we come. We cannot get any of the public officials who were earmarked or spearheading this program on the ground to give any information. That is what triggered suspicion into this whole thing. Yet, now, it is not an issue that is limited to only one political party. It is a general issue. Like my brother indicated, when it got to Parliament, Parliament unilaterally passed a decision on it. And I believe that in our quarters as an NDC and a party in government, we feel that nothing will be done to again further aggravate the feeling of the people on the ground. Already there are a series of problems that we have. We just came out of a flood situation that hit the whole country and the capital city of Accra, where families who were affected seems to be coming from various parts of the country. And then we wake up again, a group of people parading themselves to do another thing. Now, here we come. If it is true that they really wanted to do an activity or a test, this was clear in their mind, why would they go and hide? The program was nowhere to be found in the public. They just maneuvered because somebody, the woman who is spearheading the operations, a doctor called Margaret Kweku, who is a former MCE of Hohoi, who has an influence in that particular district, shows that a test should be conducted on a public institution, the midwifery training school. Again, one may ask, if you want to do anything, why Hohoi? Why have they not been education? Why have they decided not to tell any institutions? Why have they refused to engage stakeholders? Why have they refused to give information?
Mustapha, I mean, Hohoi, I read, has been used before in other trials, and also it could have been anywhere at all. But my question really to you at this point is, what exactly is your suspicion?
Our suspicion is the conduct of the so-called public officials who were spearheading this. They did not lead to transparency. They were not clear in their operations. They used their influence to go to the ground. In any case, why will you offer somebody a tune of just 200 Ghana cedis, which is equivalent to about just $50, and a mobile phone for somebody who is going to offer himself for this dangerous trial? When we all know that Ebola has not gotten any long history in Africa, okay? We don't have any technology that seems to take care of some of this stuff. What happens if any mistake?
Mustapha, do you think someone is trying to sneak Ebola into Ghana? Do you think it's a covert ploy to?
We at this stage we are not concluding, but we are suspecting the conduct of the individuals involved not to be straight, and so it leaves us in doubt. It leaves us in great suspicion of their conduct. Okay? Because why did they refuse to give information? Why did they refuse to educate the public? Why did they refuse to officially write to the Ministry of Health?
Okay.
Today, I was in an interview with the spokesperson to the Ministry of Health, and he said that they have not gotten any official notice of this type.
That brings a lot of questions to my mind, though, because they had a license to do this. There was I've personally seen a document from the Food and Drug Authority giving the go-ahead for this trial to go on. Let me ask Richard. Richard, do we know which company is doing this? Do we know which company is behind the trials?
Well, yes, because when we spoke to the FDA, I think it's a German company, they were clear in their minds whom they had issued that license to do it. They were clear in their minds that it's a German company, and what they did not do was to name it publicly. So their name, they've not put out the name publicly, but behind the scenes we know, yes, the name is there. It is not just any other company, but there's a company behind it. Doesn't that arouse
more suspicion, though? I would think that if we're dealing with transparency, we should have no qualms at all mentioning to everybody that, yes, this is X, Y, and Z company trying to do A, B, and C.
Well, that is so. The whole thing, I guess, was shrouded in some form of secrecy, and that is what has aroused such interest, negative interest, of course, when it comes to reactions. Because, for instance, we in the media obviously did not know that this was going to happen until our informants and people started getting to us. We were lucky as the first station to have gotten such a confirmation from the FDA as an authority that yes, we've done that. And this, in fact, from the FDA, what they did tell us was that they were supposed to start the trials from Monday or so, because they've given them the license, they've given them the go-ahead, and they've gone through the various stages. We really spoke to officials from the Health Ministry who said that they've satisfied every and other process that needs to be gone through before this is done. So they were sure of what they were doing.
Okay, so now I see a red flag right there.
Transparency was not found.
I see a red flag right there. Just a few minutes ago, we mentioned that the Health Ministry said they knew nothing about it. Now you're saying that the Health Ministry said they are satisfied with whatever they were presented and had therefore backed the agreement. Yes. That alone, raises doubts for me.
The Health Ministry cannot say that they were not aware. That would have been first laughable and a little bit. Totally stupid, if you want to use that word, although it's too harsh, because, well, how the FDA is an authority, but really, when it comes to these things, when the scourge was on, there was a committee formed, and it was the Deputy Minister of Health who was the head of that committee, spearheading every and anything about Ebola. So the Health Ministry cannot claim they did not know. In fact, when we spoke to the PRO, he did not tell us that they are suspending it because they don't know. He just said that he thinks that from the way the reactions are going, the minister says that it looks like a little bit more of education needs to be done, and that is their reason for suspending it. So really, in this whole the Health Ministry cannot educate itself to say that
that's what I would think.
I've not heard them. Yes, I've not heard them officially saying that though.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a second, but let me ask Mustapha at this point. Mustapha, do you know if anybody actually signed up for these trials? And if they did so, did they do so willingly?
Let me tell you, when you go to infiltrate in a community like Hawaii and you engage innocent students who are constrained with resources, even when they are in school, and you educate them blindly to say that, look, the test you are going to be doing does not have any serious effect. The test you are going to do is not going to affect your life and anything, but we have decided to give you 200 Ghana cedis on a mobile phone. I mean, it's so funny and so stupid. I mean, for an individual to think that you will offer somebody who is offering himself for an Ebola test should be given 200 Ghana cedis on a mobile phone. It's insane. It's unprofessional. It's immoral. To the largest extent, we have suspicion of criminality. And that is going to be continuing tomorrow. Why voluntarism? Okay, these are the questions that we're asking. They haven't tried anybody do, but within 1 week or two, they would have started. And the question is, why voluntarism? Why 200 Ghana cedis? Why have they refused to do a public?
But did anybody sign up for it that you know about, Mustapha? Did you know of any individuals who actually signed up?
They claim when the students they are directly dealing with, okay, sign up for this program, but they have not involved or started the vaccine yet. Have
you seen the document that they were made to sign by any chance?
Yes, of course. We have. We have gone to the ground. We have done a full investigation on this. And like my brother just indicated, tomorrow we are going to be calling the Deputy Health Minister because he is a member of the committee in charge of Ebola. And he is in charge of there's a particular aspect of it. He is in charge of it. So it baffles me why Ministry of Health will come and suspend it at this time.
Let me take you to the document. Let me take you to that document if you have seen it then, Mustapha. What are some of the clauses that you saw in it? Was there, for instance, a clause that said, don't disclose to anybody, for instance? What are some of the clauses that you saw?
There were, I can't remember exactly what the clauses were, but I have not cited any clause that indicated that you should not tell anybody. But we haven't even gotten to that. That's not our argument. Our argument is that why did you go to do that with our children without briefing us?
Okay.
Now, it goes beyond even the children. When Ebola breaks out, okay, it is not an individual sickness. Ebola infection has no control. You can't easily control it. We've seen how people suffer Ebola and their relatives cannot even touch them. So why will you go to the ground, try to do this without anybody's knowledge?
A very interesting question. Very interesting question. Let me go to editor at this point. Richard, Parliament also did not know about this. I've spoken with a few members of Parliament who have indicated to me that they did not know about this until it came up in Parliament, and I think you've actually also mentioned that as well. Now the minister has been summoned before Parliament to appear tomorrow to answer these questions. What is there to say about that?
Well, I think that in terms of the summoning, it's in place because Parliament has a select committee on health, and yesterday, for the discussions from both sides, they were even wondering why, even if the whole of Parliament would not know, at least the select committee of health should have been able to say that, yes, we knew about this and we knew what was about. You know, there's a historical antecedents to all of this, and this is because there was a certain opposition to even Ghana accepting the whole Ebola response unit here in Ghana. But then our president was the ECOWAS chair, so it was well in place, and I think it went down well after all other things have been considered. Then all of a sudden, they just woke up one morning and it is in the news that this was what was going to happen. So really, Parliament was incensed. The minister's appearance before Parliament will not change the decision that Parliament has taken. What it will do is that they want more information so that they are able to dilate further on the issues, because for them, they have called for the suspension, and luckily before even their call came, the ministry had suspended it. But I think there are real questions to be answered from that ministry, and the minister would really have to answer it as to why he had to suspend it, why people who were supposed to know didn't know, or but because I think for them maybe they might just have assumed that they were just doing some normal trials and it must go ahead. Even in Parliament, issues were raised with the money, like Mustapha was saying, because there were some of the parliamentarians who said that they went to the UN's website, that is the WHO website, to find out how those things are normally carried out, and they were shocked to notice that on the website, the amount to be given for people who will be used for such dangerous trials was not a paltry $50, which is 200 Ghana cedis here, and they even thought that if that is the case and everything is proven that such monies have been given, then there's an element of criminality or some
in
form
the whole
of
picture. We've got to leave it here.
Corruption. Yep.
We've got to leave it here, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Before we go, though, Mustapha, what is your plan as citizens who are really concerned about this thing? What is your plan? Are you going to still oppose the trials, even if some level of education is carried out?
Thank you very much. Our plan is that going forward, we will not allow the trial to be conducted in the Volta region. We will also make sure we will go further to call and probe into this matter, as long as the Food and Drugs Board, the FDA is concerned, and these individuals who were championing the test without anybody's knowledge. We are trying to continue that call tomorrow. If it has to take even the involvement of the Deputy Minister, we will do that, because we think that they were trying to gamble with the lives of Ghanaians. They were trying to put the lives of Bulgarians on the silver platter for marketing, which we will agree.
Okay.
So tomorrow, that is what we'll be doing further.
All right. I wish we had more time to continue this discussion, but it is a growing story, and we'll definitely probably come back to you after the minister has made his, appearance in Parliament. Thank you very much, Richard Mensah, news editor at City FM, and Mustapha Gbande, Deputy Regional Secretary for the NDC Volta region. Thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So the discussion goes on. We will be following this story, you bet. SaharaTV, Everything Africa. Stay tuned.